single day. I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hi, it's Tomorrow again. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed. It's been a while. I miss you guys. It's been a couple of weeks since my last video, but I wanted to talk to you guys today about regret. Have you ever done something with the best intentions, or maybe you just wasn't really thinking, and maybe your right mind or your first mind or your first instinct said, be careful with this situation. Or you may have gotten up in the morning and you had a feeling that the day was just going to go awry. Well, when I was in high school, I had a swimming class, and me and my friends were kind of acting silly in the pool. We were sort of splashing, and we had these sort of foam things that you hold in front of you, and you sort of kick your feet and it keeps you afloat. I think they're called floaters. Well, we were tossing those back and forth. We were throwing balls back and forth. And for whatever reason, our swimming instructor didn't have a problem with it. Well, I ended up hitting some kid over the head with one of the floaters. And he sort of went down in the water, and he sort of came back up, and it seemed like he was really in trouble. And by that time, we were all escorted out of the swimming pool, and, you know, class was over. And I thought I saw him get out of the pool as well. I mean, when I turned around, I didn't see anyone else in the pool. And then as the day progressed, I got to thinking, I wonder if that kid's okay that I hit in the head. And I was thinking about it all day, but I couldn't get permission to go back to the pool to check on him. I mean, that was bothering me, something big. And so when school was over that day, I kind of looked out for that kid to make sure I saw him and make sure that he was okay. My mind was really playing tricks on me. I really thought that foam floater may have knocked him unconscious and he was still under the pool. So I got a friend of mine to sneak back to the pool to make sure that he was okay, make sure that the pool was clear. It seems like my mind was just racing a mile a minute, and I was just picturing, you know, this kid's demise. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna, you know, all these horrible things are gonna happen as a result of it. My heart was racing, my stomach was tumbling. I didn't know how to handle it if something had happened to him. He was about my age, and he was just an innocent bystander in the pool. And because I felt like goofing off with my friends, I felt like I may have possibly hurt him so badly that he would never come back from that. And I didn't know how to handle that. So my friend and I sneaked back to the pool, and we looked through the windows. Even though it was dark in the pool area, we didn't see anybody floating around the pool. We didn't hear any sirens coming around the school, so we just kind of assumed he was okay. We came away from the pool area, and I remember sitting down on the steps at school feeling like the worst person ever. And my friend tapped me on the shoulder, and she said, "Liz, look." And I didn't want to look. I didn't know what she wanted me to see. Did she want me to see him being carried out in a stretcher with the cover over his head? What did she want me to see? I got all of my nerve together, and I sort of peeked up, and I saw the kid. He was fine. But the point is, all that angst over one of my actions, you know, all that angst that he could have been hurt badly, I'll never forget that. I'll never ever forget worrying about this kid and feeling very helpless. Like, what can I do? At 16 years old, I probably had as much common sense as a turnip. Not to say that all 16-year-olds are that way, but I certainly was that way. On a serious note, you guys, have you ever felt like you were in a situation where one of your actions caused something awful to happen to someone? I was thinking about this when I watched this documentary about this young mother who took her 18-month-old baby to the babysitter. It was pretty warm that day. It was toward the end of May, pretty hot. And she drove the baby to the daycare and dropped her off. And she went to work. And 6 hours later, she got back in her car. She was finished for work that day. And she got back in her car and she drove home. And then it dawned on her she forgot to pick the baby up from the daycare center. Well, she went back to get in the car and she noticed on the passenger side there was a package. So she went to get the package, and when she did that, she noticed her baby was still in the car. She had left her 18-month-old baby in the car the entire time she was at work. Her action caused her child's death. The emergency room physician said that upon arrival, the baby's body temperature was 107, and that was after it had started to cool down and rigor mortis had already set in. This is something that this mother has to live down her entire life. She has to find a way to maybe forgive herself, find a way to maybe live with herself. And unfortunately, this baby is gone. This baby will never live here on earth again. Her life is over at 18 months old because her mother was preoccupied and forgot to take her out of the car. The mother says that the reason she forgot is because she was sort of on autopilot. And I've done that before, not with a child, but I've forgotten something. I've been on autopilot and forgotten something. I don't know how she could forget her child, but it's definitely an interesting documentary to check out. And I think it's on Tubi or Tubby, however you pronounce that. That sort of new app. Well, it's new for me. You can watch different documentaries and different movies on there. I'll put the name of it up here. It's TUBI. I'm not endorsing the channel or anything. I'm just mentioning where I heard the documentary. And also, I know you guys are aware of the grandfather who's being charged. And by the way, that mother was charged with neglect that led to the death of her child. And I know you guys have heard about the grandfather who, for whatever reason, he sat his 18-month-old granddaughter on top of a ledge on a cruise ship, thinking that, well, by the way, they were in the play area where other children were playing, toys and stuff like that. Well, he sat her up on a ledge thinking that there was a glass covering her back. Well, there was, but the second glass wasn't closed. It was open, and as the child reared back, she fell 11 feet to the floor of the ship. And that is just devastating. And I really didn't want to make a video today about negativity, but these things happen. Sometimes with the most simplest actions, detrimental things can occur. So always follow your first mind, your instincts, your intuition. Always try to be aware of what you're doing. And I think part of that is getting enough rest, getting enough sleep, thinking before you act, really taking the time, get in the habit of taking the time to think before you act. And if you happen to be in a situation where you are filled with regret and sorrow and trying to be forgiven and understood, I wish you the best. I wish you well, and am sending you vibrations of love and understanding, and I hope somehow you find your way. That's not a good place to be in, and I hope that you have some sort of support system around you and some sort of counseling to help you cope. I think there is life after a mistake. Granted that we are all human beings. No one is perfect. But at the same time, you have to understand there sometimes is a victim in our mistakes. And somehow we have to find a way to forgive ourselves. Whatever your coping mechanism is, your peacemaker is, your understanding of forgiveness, whatever all that is, find a way to forgive yourself. Find a way to understand what happened. Find a way to gain some sort of counseling. I don't have any magic words via this channel, but I wanted to make sure that people are aware that these things can happen. So always, before you hurriedly make a decision or do an action, make sure you just take 10 seconds first. Count to 10 first. And it's a heck of a way to live, but I think it's better than regret. I think it's better than rushing into something and then before you know it, something bad happens and here you stand in regret, in devastation. I always tell my kids, when you're at an intersection, before you proceed, just because the light is green, before you go, count to 10. And while you count to 10, look around. Look around. Look every possible direction as you're counting to 10. And then tell yourself it's okay to go. We have to be mindful of our actions because our actions will more than likely affect another action. It'll initiate another action which can affect something. So I just wanted to leave you guys with positive words. November 11th was a couple of days ago, and that in my mind was the start of a new energy. It feels like a strong energy, and I think it can also be a healing energy. It feels that way to me. Not to say that bad things won't happen, but the energy around it might make it easier for you to cope. Please count to 10 before you make a move. Doesn't hurt, doesn't take but 10 seconds. I'm passing this advice to all of my subscribers, and I'm also accepting the advice for myself as to remember to always keep doing that. This message, I wanted to give a message to someone out there who is in a situation where they don't really know which way to turn. They don't really know which is the right answer. Usually the right answer is right in front of you. I use metaphysics sometimes to find answers for myself. Don't look for it. Just live your life, and the universe will show you the answer. It will give you the answer. Sometimes it takes practice, but don't look for it. Because when you look for the answer, when you're searching for it like this and you're looking for signs, it doesn't always, it's almost like manipulation. But if you just kind of live your life, do the things that you're supposed to be doing, take care of your life the way you're supposed to be living, the answers will just come to you. And it may seem like a coincidence at first, but you'll learn to understand the language of the universe. And hopefully we can all use this language to help us have an easier life, not a perfect life, but an easier life. It'll give us a little bit of an edge. Until my next video, you guys, this is tomorrow again, and I'm wishing you guys the best of the best. I definitely missed every one of you. I missed your energy. I missed your input. Please comment in the comment section if you have done something that you just regret and you wish you could count to 10 and have another chance to do it over again. Let us know. Share it with us if you care to. And you guys, I don't think you found this video by accident. I hope somehow it gave you some kind of peace if you're in the situation that I described in this video. I hope you can find a peace of mind, and I hope you can understand the language of the universe Count to 10 before you make a big move. Even something as simple as putting a child up somewhere, throwing something across the room, or engaging in some sort of activity that could be detrimental. This is Tomorrow again, wishing you the best of the best. Thank you.